Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg, and this is...
No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Matt Strange. This is...
Apparently I just copy Matt Strange. Also very fucking tired. Mo. All right.
Welcome to Insomnia Club, people. Today we'll be talking about wrestling, and I'll have to remember if I like it or not. Or get some insomnia in your shadow realm.
Oh, no, I've had it quite good. I booked today off work, so I've done a load of stuff and recovered from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. See, I was stupid. I had booked today off to recover from the Rumble when I thought it was on Sunday. As soon as I found out it wasn't on Sunday, I handed my bloody leave back in, and now I'm very gutted about that fact.
I'm the smartest. I didn't watch the Royal Rumble.
You've definitely been the smartest.
Yeah.
Right, so we should be live on Twitch.
Huzzah.
So, as such, just to get that, this might be the first time you're watching, and as such, you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we give our general ranks for matches on Dynamite and Rampage and our overall score. Mr. Strange, it is time for you to explain the tier list.
Oh there. Not very creative today because I've had 3 hours sleep, but let's go. Alphabetical scale, you know it. You've seen tier things before. You played Japanese computer games. We'd start with a D. A D is a shitty match or a shitty segment. Very little story. Very bad wrestling. We don't care. D. Average match, average good match should be a C. What I expect from a C rank match or a C rank segment is enough story to know why the wrestler's in the ring. The match is crisp. It can have a couple of botches, but I've had a good time. The TV is filled. I know the promo gets the wrestler over. Doesn't have to blow my mind. Just good. B. Match +1. The same thing as before, except the story is definitely there. The character definitely gets over. The wrestling in the ring is crisp and clear. Lovely matches with Scorpio Sky against other people. Normally get a B because he's very good. Lovely. A. Hopefully the best thing we see every week. Normally the best thing we see every month. If we're really unlucky, best thing we see now and then. A matches. I want to know why the wrestler's there. I want to know what they're doing when they're leaving. The match is crisp, clean, cool, powerful. The story segment is a wonderful cinematic or a movie trailer that they're very good at, that gets the character over, explains the feud, hopefully advances it. We want strong, hearty, well-acted, tight ring work, character work. Yes! Ninjas versus luchadors, undead wizards versus biker gangs, horses, bar fights, all manner of over-the-top cinematic bullshit, as long as there's some story to get us in there and get us out there. Some people give S ranks to the incredibly flippy shit. Not me. I want your S thing to blow your mind. It doesn't have to be a cinematic bollocks match. It doesn't need Evil Clowns and Lance Catamaran. It can have just a fucking tight end of a feud, Ibushi versus Kenny, tie back to the old days. It can be end of Naito's run in NJPW. An S-rank match can conclude a story with wonderfulness, but normally it gets given to the comedic bullshit because it's different. B, shit. C, good. B, very good. A, amazing. S, rare magical moments.
Hey. Right, let's kick straight along. We kick off, as always, with the news. And Mr. Strange, what's the news at the moment?
There was a Royal Rumble. Ronda Rousey was in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mickey James showed up.
To be fair, she not only showed up with the Impact Championship, she showed up billed as the Impact Champion, wasn't just tossed out straight away, and had her Impact Wrestling music. So they did good by her. This led me to have a thought about the Forbidden Door being open in Dub Z, and more on that later.
The other thing she also had was she got to kick the crap out of Michelle McCool.
Hey!
Yes. Yes. Oh, we've lost.
Go on, he'll be back.
We've lost Mo. Oh no, he's coming back.
I don't even know what the hell happened there.
I thought for a second I'd done something.
Close the forbidden door of this video channel.
Oh, there we go. And normal services reviewed. Right, moving on. Social media. It's me this week, isn't it?
It is.
So if you haven't, go onto YouTube, look up Danhausen and go and watch the Danhausen videos on YouTube. The guy is an absolute freaking genius. Really is. Absolutely. I haven't got a clue what he's like.
Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. He's great as well. Hold on. I've known about Danhausen for a while. That's why this present has Danhausen wrapping paper on it from about 6 months ago.
Amazing. Shouldn't you open that?
No, it's for Roots stuff. Rappinghausen.
Amazing.
It'll be great indie shitter energy. It'll be the best.
Yeah, I've even gone and watched like an hour of his stuff today. Like genuinely awesome. You know, dancing on a bar to like Pee Wee Herman and stuff. You know, wandering around the Jericho Cruise and that. Yeah,
that episode is so wholesome. I love that one. That's the one I was just watching.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I was just watching the Jericho piece. Right, so shall we move on?
Oh, I actually have one very quick. I've also been watching the Wyndham Rotunda ones. The are they fake, are they not fake ones?
Yes.
I know most of them are over a week old. But
if he doesn't come back with an IRS gimmick, he's let us all down.
True story. I'm very intrigued by him though. And the first couple I was like, this is the fakest thing I've ever seen. This is definitely bullshit. And then the last couple actually I've gone, no, actually, I think this actually might be legit. 100% legit. So yeah.
Mo,
got a lot to talk about it.
Last week you got challenged to be angry about something.
Oh shit, I did, didn't I? Yeah.
I feel this. Now, normally we do the rant of the week near the end, but I feel that you having just mentioned that might actually be the time for your moment rant of the week.
Moment
about Dubsy screwing up Bray Wyatt. You have 2 minutes on the clock, starting now.
So I want to start. I'm just putting this out there first. I was originally going to do a well-written, perfectly structured argument, not just a rant, an actual argument about how badly they fucked it up. And then I actually started watching more, going back on the stuff that I had previously watched or I got fucking annoyed about. Instead, I've made bullet points because fuck them. Fuck Vinnie Mac and whoever fucked him up. That was a load of fucking bullshit. He started off when he came back. See, I'm going to ignore the Bray Wyatt cult leader stuff. I'm talking pure like Bray Wyatt fiend here. This is the ending of Bray Wyatt was fucking ridiculous. He comes in with the Firefly Funhouse, the most entertaining thing that anyone has done in that company for a very pissing long time. You know, he brought in all of his previous grievances, but made it into something fucking entertaining. It wasn't just some guy whinging. A lot of it was poking fun at himself for his size with the whole Husky Harris stuff. You know, it was genius. He managed to not only destroy the people he should have destroyed, whether that's legends, whether that's fucking Randy Orton sometimes at some points, but he also changed the landscape. You know, he made Daniel Bryan cut his hair, he turned Finn Balor heel. It was fucking brilliant. He even took the piss out of Vince McMahon and had a good match with John Cena. And then they decided to fucking turn Alexa Bliss goth, which looked good, but it was fucking dog shit. They set him on fire. They made him lose
30 seconds.
Hammers and sledgehammers. They basically ruined all of the mythos of this absolute phenomenal fucking character that didn't need to lose to anyone. Like, I don't know, Goldberg at fucking Saudi Arabia. Go fuck yourself, Vinnie Mac. That fucking money isn't worth destroying a character that could have propped your company up for a very fucking long time. I saw that face strange. Fuck you. That could have
4, 3, 2, 1. There is your 2-minute rant about how Dubsy fucking up Bray Wyatt, and you're totally right.
I mean, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of cash.
It's a lot of money.
Right.
It was good.
Should we do some reviews?
Let's go.
Oh yeah,
this is
Wrestling, AEW.
The show is all about. Right, so it's over to me, and it's Dynamite Beach Break. Excalibur, Schiavone, and JR on commentary, and we open with the undisputed TNT Championship match, the ladder match. Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes. Sammy Guevara wins, plucking both belts down. What are your thoughts on the match, and what scores did you give it?
Let's have a look at my opening notes. So Cody's heel then. Dave Meltzer gave this 5 stars. And a series of escalating bumps are my opening notes. I'm going to open with, I did enjoy this. We get a weird mixed crowd. They didn't quite know who to boo or cheer at the start of it. And we get to a pace start with some solid, taunting personality work that I like when you're building your story. Some wrestling, bit of outside stuff into a crowd fight was building the pace. Learned Sammy can climb a ladder like a human, which is really nice. We got... There's a bunch of ladder bumps on here. I'll just cross them off now. Ladder suplex, good. Big ladder cutter from cutter to cutter. Ladder to ladder crossroads actually look good. Right, okay, let's get back to actually things that happened in the map. Sammy takes some light light ladder bumps whilst Cody gets the heel heat for the break as usual. And Cody did a drop on the ladder hinges that I've never seen before, and I was like, oh, Jesus, shit Christ. After the break, Cody remembered he was doing limb work and got that back in, and the Codyverse powered up so Fuego could come out and get Tiger Drivered. Sammy actually go to hell with Cody. I saw that knee hit his face. Like, that went in, and I normally say that finisher looks shit because they never hit with it. Then it was just a series of escalating bumps. All very impressive, all very loco, even though I do hate it when anybody, when they're going to do a big bump, goes, I'm crazy. It kind of takes down the actual being crazy, if you ask me. Then he sent on his back onto Cody on a ladder, and it honestly looked like he'd fucking nightfalled himself, like he was going to have to be replaced with Azrael for 2 arcs. Batman reference. So F's in the chat for his spine. And they had a ladder fight and Sammy won. It was good. I was entertained. It was more a series of, as I said, escalating events and spectacle with storytelling than it was a wrestling match, if you ask me. So I gave it a B. I think it was good. I think there was story there. I think it was entertaining. But it didn't actually feel that much like a match, as opposed to I do the hard thing, you do the hard thing. Still good, you know. I know I always sound negative, but what you boys got?
I actually got a B as well. I really did enjoy this match, which is strange because you're saying enjoyed it and you gave it a B. I really enjoyed it, also gave it a B. Yeah. I mean, for me, that fucking upside down ladder thing, all I could think about was my fat ass, how much fat would have got pinched in those, the little hinges. Ooh. And, like, that was the worst part of the whole thing for me. That looked scary. Carly, my wife, when Sammy did the senton onto the corner of a ladder, let's face it, said, I thought he looked like Tom Daly and now he's diving like him. So apparently Sammy Guevara looks like fucking Tom Daly to my wife. Genuinely enjoyed it. Like I said about Sammy can actually go up a ladder properly like a human being. They obviously did slow it down over the pace of the match, but that's kind of to be expected. It's part of the story as well. They're getting more tired. That cutter was a thing of beauty. It was just perfect. Like every motion on it just seemed to really, really work. I've also got written here, fuck off, Wago, just because I just didn't enjoy that part of it.
Codyverse has to power up.
Yeah, that's fair. And it ended with the world's weakest belt shot known to human existence, which took it off for me. Oh, it just fizzled my little bit out there, but B. It was good.
Morg is our resident biggest indie flipper fan. What's a flippy shitter fan?
This got 5 stars.
Yeah.
This wasn't an S rank match.
No.
I was wondering whether I should have upgraded it to an A. And because I was on a video call with 2 other people this week, a friend of the Raptors as well, and we were discussing whether I just hadn't paid enough attention. I gave it a B. I thought it was good. It was enjoyable. It had story in. Arguably, it has. No, it doesn't. It's the end of a feud. So yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah, but yeah, it was good. Right, moving on.
They're beautiful.
Starks and Hobbs promo thoughts.
God, as I said, they're beautiful. 1,000 cool points to Hobbs' coat and shades and singlet combo. He looked fucking dope. And they've both got mic game. I know who they are. I know what they're doing. Solid Bs. Easy peasy. They're just good game That look.
I struggled to actually give this one a ranking. I was really confused by it because it was just a challenge. That's all it was. It's just like, yeah, I'm just challenging guy.
But look how cool
they looked fucking wicked. And I was just like, I don't know. I've given it a high C because I was so very confused about what side of the tracks it laid on to me. But you're kind of sending me more to the B side here when you say about how he looked.
If you could just win on visuals, it's enough.
Yeah, fuck it, B.
Yeah, it's a B. It was good. It was what it was. Moving from a B.
Oh, D.
Wardlow versus, and I've actually had to just write jobbers because I didn't have time to write their names down.
I didn't get their full names. I got James and Alexander, and couldn't be asked to rewind to find out.
He could have taken a bit of a beating in a 2-on-1 just to show he's got some toughness, couldn't he?
I gave it a D squash.
Yeah, D squash.
Exactly that.
We then had
what a shame.
Jericho and Proud and Powerful versus 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Santana gets the win after a pile driver. Thoughts and scores.
And they still coexist. Can it be done? Right. Anyway, Proud and the Powerful wail on Jeff, and Ortiz did his amazing headbutt thing, which I love. The one where he just goes, wonderful. Solid back and forth between P&P and the heels before some lack of coexistence let the heels beat on Ortiz for the entire break. Fortunately, the break ended, giving Ortiz the strength to make a hot tag to Santana, which made Jericho sad. There was a good final exchange of sequences with Jericho doing some of the cheeky help stuff, which I think really worked with his character. I think it was good. Gave it a C. Match didn't blow my mind. There was story work in there. Ortiz ate shit for a lot. C, good. Entertainment.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I gave this a high C. So as a guy that's only really been watching for a little while, it showed who they were. All 6 men, in fact.
Oh, yeah, no, good point.
Yeah, so it was, for me, it was quite nice to see. Oh, I can see where the heel shit's coming from. I can see the breaking up of the these guys over here. Really enjoyed it. It was solid as well. Like, the wrestling was solid. Very few issues with any of it. There was a lovely, I can't remember who fucking did it, I'm the worst, but there was this really nice double cutter that happened, and I'm shitting off.
Santana, probably.
Probably, yeah. I gave it a high C because it allowed me to understand characters I wasn't 100% sure on. So, yeah.
What score did you give it again, Strange?
C, but like a good C. I'm willing to go up to this high C. I've been convinced. Have you given it a B?
High C.
Oh, hooray! What a positive week.
High C, but I wasn't sure whether it was a high C or a low B. That's why I wanted to know what you'd given it, because I was going to base my decision on what you two had given, which still would have left me confused. But
it was just some good wrestling, some good traditional, what we want. A little bit of soap opera, a little bit of beating. Off you go.
So then we had the Lance Archer and Hangman promo package. Any thoughts? Anything to say?
Solid enough. Hangman is getting some actual better champion game now, I would say. He looked great getting the title. Then his first bit was like, yeah, I've got to take the title and I've got to fight Daniel Bryan. But now he's kind of getting into his thing. You need somebody to fight against, and Lance is good for that.
I did like, it's a death match.
Yeah.
That was the best bit about it. What? Oh shit!
So I just got that. It was another promo segment, and this time it was Jurassic Express and Christian with Private Party and Matt Hardy. Any thoughts?
I'm bored of them, so I only wrote down "This watch is fake." Made me laugh.
That was good.
Right.
Carly is convinced. This is going to be a very out there comment, but Carly is convinced that Tony Schiavone looks like Jeff from Biker Grove. There you go.
Watch Biker Grove again.
Yeah, you're going to have to Google that bad boy.
Yeah.
He's a bit chunkier than Tony.
Right. Are we ready?
Yes.
CM Punk in-ring promo calls out MJF, who comes out. Wardlow and FTR come out. Sean Spears jumps promo from behind. Beat down on Punk. What did you think of the whole segment? What scores did you give it?
God, this was long. It was so long. Really good start, to be honest. Both of them have got great crowd control and bants. Then it just started to drag. I mean, there was a lot of big shoot energy in the promos, so, in what they were saying to each other, which was nice. But it was long. And then they beat on Punk. They could have come tighter. And we got Wardlow's sad power bombs. I think that's where they should have done Wardlow's turn. It was his hometown. He'd just been shown earlier. Perfect place for him to turn, unless they need him to beat MJF after MJF beats Punk. I think all the words and all the actions and everything that went down in there were good and correct. If they'd just reduced it to about a third of the length. I'm not going to rank it because I only have negative thoughts about this, looking just how long it was. Go on, Mo. You're looking at me like I'm stupid.
I know you're old, and time matters, and you're getting to the end of your time. Shit, I'm older than you, aren't I?
What are you?
37.
When?
You're both a couple of young whippersnappers.
I'm older than you.
Yeah. All right, oldies. No, I fucking love this. I really, really enjoyed it. I just sat there, just going, oh, like I was on MJF's side for half of that when he's ripping into Punk about when he fucked off previously. Yeah, don't listen to him, guys. He's done this before. Though he was meant to turn up here a while back. Didn't fucking bother, did he? I really enjoyed that. I liked when he gets power bombed at the end, and then he does like the pipe bomb, like cross-legged thing on Punk's chest. Yeah, I thought there was just a load of really little things that I really enjoyed it. I gave it a B, man.
All right, cool. Oh,
we've
lost. He's gone.
He's gone.
He can't defend us. Side with me.
Thoughts.
He's not going to side with me. It's got Phil.
Yeah, not happening.
Fucking Phil.
Yeah, it was long, but it didn't feel like it dragged for me. Unlike a segment later. So yeah, I gave it an A. I thought this was a really good setup, mainly for MJF as well. I thought this was really good. It did everything it needed to. It told the full story. It had enough. If it's going to be the last promo of what has been this promo war as well, it was a good sign-off. It was a good ending. I loved MJF, like you say, doing the Punk pipe bomb. The only criticism I have, and it would have got an S, if MJF had the mic at the end and had said, "Do I have your attention now?" And if he had said that, I would have given it an S straight away, which was the intro for it's part of the pipe bomb promo. It's the famous
I suppose, as against as much
but
as I am against
downgrade
what is
to a
about
B. I will downgrade to a B because of Punk bias.
We'll write a B on this piece of paper for this section.
Know your place.
I believe the correct section for that is B, not for me. Following on from that, something that was for Strange, acclaimed promo.
Every one of their promos is a B. We're wankers, beat us up. Wonderful. I love them.
Anything to add, Mo?
No, it's fucking great. I'm really enjoying them. I really am.
Right.
It's exactly what you want from your shitty heels.
After that, we had another segment. This one was Griff Garrison and Julia Hart promo. Mark Sterling interrupts and offers Julia a shot at the TBS Championship. Can I point out something quickly? So the TNT Championship, and I meant to mention this last week, and it's happened again this week. The TNT Championship was defended on TBS, and the TBS Championship was defended on TNT. Just saying. Right, moving on. What did you think of the segment with Jade and Julia? Sorry, with Mark Sterling and Julia?
I don't think there's really much to say about standard moment going to build a match. I'm really enjoying this slow story turn of Julia. Like on Twitter, she changed her picture. Somebody drew her with a snake round her and an eye patch on. She was slightly shitty here. I've got more to say later on when we do Rampage. Arguably, I should give it a B just because I'm intrigued of the story of Julia. Not like, oh, I'm really excited for Julia's story or, oh, it's a story. I'm actually lightly intrigued about Cheerleader Girl turning into a Kurt Russell character. It pleases me greatly.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't overly bothered by this. In all honesty,
it's all right. It's nothing special. It's just interesting for me.
Yeah, I saw this. I didn't get the feeling from this, again, more on that later, that they're actually going to bother doing anything with the old eye patch thing. This little segment here, I was a bit like, oh no, they're not really bothering. But I was wrong.
Right, moving on from there. Leila Hirsch and Red Velvet. It's only because I've got nothing cool behind me in my room that I have the blur on. Because I don't
you're
have
a god.
I don't have
I
a
like
cool
it.
WrestleMania poster or like awesome stuff.
Or bullshit that I print
There's
off
a
in my
door
18 printer.
and a map of Narnia behind me.
You embrace your Narnia, my friend.
Your fault you lost at Yu-Gi-Oh.
Moving on, Leila Hirsch versus Red Velvet. Leila wins with a roll-up and a handful of tights. Leila beat down on Red Velvet. Statlander for the save. Thoughts and scores.
I've got a positive all right written down about this match. Fast, hard start, good energy, a little bit rough with each other, but I like that in a wrestling match. Velvet's got even more agile, and I've been fucking standing for Velvet since she started. Hirsch wrestles like standard heel, so her pace doesn't feel too slow because she still brings it down, but she does armbar. Limb work for armbar, wonderful. We did have a lightly botched buckle whip, but they sort of styled it out and came it back for Velvet's comeback. Nice, interesting sequences and counters and wrestling. C plus maybe. Just good women's match.
I gave this one a C. It was good. I liked, like you said, it was quite frenetic at the beginning, but not in a bad way. It was, there was a good level of pacing at the beginning. I felt it did slow down a little too much for my personal liking.
I get it.
I actually liked both women for different reasons in this. It was quite nice to watch, to see your tiny Russian
armbar suplex.
There was a couple of little weird botches. There was the weakest power bomb I have ever seen. Maybe not ever seen, but it was pretty weak. But saying that, it was all right. It was a match. I didn't hate it. It was a C for me.
Yeah. Breaking my pens.
C for me as well. I thought it was good. It was a solid women's match. I like both competitors. It was nice to see Velvet have someone she could wrestle against again, because she hasn't had anyone like that in a while.
A different lineup of women.
Yes, and a different women's storyline, which I know we've been talked about a lot, but there are some more women's storylines that are not just about the title now. After that, we had a House of Black promo. Any thoughts?
Solid. Brody was a bit reading off the teleprompter, but he'll get there a bit better. Yeah, he'll pick up. I like him. Good stuff.
Didn't think he was that bad. I mean, you could tell there was a level of, I've written this down, and I'm saying it verbatim. But I actually thought, he's a big lad. He's not letting Malachi do all the talking. I know he didn't say a lot, but I was like, right, okay, they're actually going to let him talk.
He's not Christian Cage in him.
Yeah. I actually know that comment. I get it. I get something.
Joke.
I thought it was good. Yes, Brody King does sound a little bit... He was a little bit wooden and flat. He wasn't as natural as Alistair. I think actually one of your mistakes there was they didn't do the muster trick, as me and Strange would call it, where you let the person who's not as good speaking speak first, and then you end with Alistair Black. Yeah, and then both of them. Nobody would have remembered the more wooden parts. They'd have just remembered the words from Brody King, and I liked the wording. It was good. But yeah, it was a C. It was fine. It got them.
I gave it actually a high C, right?
Fair.
And the only reason was because I feel like it's continuing setting Brody King up as something. It's not just there to be.
And Julia joins them with her eye patch.
Yeah. And then that'll be great. So I like the continuation. They're trying to keep this guy as something bigger, you know.
I'm going to skip over the FTR, Brock Anderson, Lee Johnson.
I didn't even write that down.
Yeah, it was just a recap, literally. So then Vicky Guerrera and Nyla Rose come out and cut a promo calling out Ruby. So another story that's not about the title. Any thoughts on this?
It was weirdly in the middle of them announcing the title card, so it felt really awkward to me, because Excalibur was like, and on Friday, this match. Then they sort of came out. Vicky's voice hurt my eyes, and everyone at the announcer desk sort of went, "Oh, okay," and just went back to announcing the cards. Didn't blow my mind. We'll see where it goes. I think it was kind of ruined by the fact that even the fucking announcer desk sort of no-sold it. I don't know if it was the last minute, we've got 2 minutes, get this match announced or whatever, but weirdly out of place for me.
Yeah, I understand. I get that. For me, it was like a weird nostalgia kick because I've not seen her for fucking years.
Oh, yeah.
So it was kind of nice. So we met her at WrestleMania as well, and she was fucking lovely. One of the loveliest people. So I actually really enjoyed this. It didn't actually increase my score of C. It was a thing, but it was still
existed.
Nice. Yeah.
It wasn't terrible that we can give it an S, and it wasn't terrible that it deserves a D. It was a C. It was wrestling.
Yeah.
Mostly, if it's wrestling, it's going to get a C. So then we had the hugely over and very popular, and God listen to that crowd when he comes out, and that's why he's on every week, Adam Cole. Versus Orange Cassidy in the Lights Out match.
Not done the Brit bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about Brit.
Sammy.
Sorry. Yeah, no. I do apologise.
Director.
I have cut some. It's because I got confused there. Right. Sammy Guevara cue cards. Any thoughts?
Less weird than last week. Big wholesome energy, and he's another commie champion. It's our belt. I love It's Our Belt champions. I get to sing the Russian national anthem every time they're on. Otherwise, mess.
It's a well-known fact as well. The Yanks do love their Russian anthem. You know, yeah. This was the first time that I saw this. What you guys were talking about last week as its normal thing. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
Moving on from there, we had a Britt Baker in-ring segment, and we had one of my speakers falling off the top in the background, which I
only the most professional podcast.
I will go and deal with in a second. Something just fell off. So the Britt Baker segment. Thoughts and scores, gentlemen.
You know what? I complain all the time of, I'm sick of this person, I'm sick of that person, I'm sick of the other person. And when she came out, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm never sick of Britt. She is awesome at what she does. The award, her winning all those awards were perfect for her character, so she could do this. Completely ignored the crowd chants like a fucking Chad and just spoke over them. Corpsed herself with her own sports jokes, which made me laugh. Like, I don't get sport, there's different jokes she was making. But when she made one rip that was obviously so good, she started laughing to herself. Wonderful. Felt it could have gone somewhere, like maybe somebody pops out and puts her through a table or some shit. But then again, I complained about people going through tables last week. But as a recognition piece for the woman who's basically carried the company, especially the women's division, brought it back, and is probably their most over person, I gave it a B. Fair play for recognising one of your most talented people.
Legit. I also gave it a B, and me and Morg briefly spoke about this on the Rumble cast. I don't think you enjoyed it as much as me and Matt did you? I love this. I loved it. When you were saying, the most over person, I genuinely thought you were about to go into the Britt Baker thing, and then when you said I'm Cole, I was like, wait, what? Have I got something wrong here? Like, she was fucking over, absolutely, and it's real over as well. It's not just people going MD, DMD, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like people are fucking invested in what she does. It's really, really nice to see. It's her sports ball comments were very generic heelish.
Well received.
But done very fucking well. Really well. I loved it. B, man. I want to see more of her. I really do.
It's getting a B. I gave it a C because I just felt it went a bit long. And normally Britt would get a B.
I said about Punk.
Exactly. This was the one later that I felt went a little bit long and got a little bit rambly at the end. And I was just a bit like, come out, do the awards, Brit, we love you. Normally, she'd just get a B straight away. And at the end of it, I turned to the Raptor. I just went, it's getting a C. It was good, but I just felt it went a little bit long.
He deserves that much time more than Phil does. She's done more for the company.
We'll have that argument another time. She might have done more in the company.
I will be the judge of this. Yay!
So, moving on from there, we moved on to the other bits that I missed out, and now we are on to Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy in the Lights Out match. Orange Cassidy wins, and more importantly, the greatest wrestler, the nicest wrestler, the most evil wrestler, Danhausen, debuts in AEW in the same way Orange Cassidy appeared once from coming under the ring, which was doubly amusing because the Raptor put that down as one of her AEW highlights when we were chatting. What did you guys think of the match, and what score did you give it?
Right, here we go. What am I going to think, boys? What am I going to think? I was lightly annoyed with how obvious the Orange Cassidy win was going to be, but I complained about that last week, so we can skip it. My first comment is, he says boom. That's his thing. I assume that's why he's over. Aggressive start with a lot of good moves. I don't like double punch spots. I think they look silly, but I can let it pass. It was a more silly match. Let's be honest. Danhausen pulled out from the chair, obviously hilarious. Otherwise, slow outside exchange fight, solid enough. I wasn't massively into it. Then Orange Cassidy's hand was actually kicked by the steps because I saw it gash open and then swell up. Then they each used one weapon. We've got to use one of each weapon. It's a little bit slowly. Oh, I can use this one now. And then Cole beat Orange Cassidy for quite some time. This is where I drew the line where it says becomes good.
Oh.
There was the necessary everybody shows up spot, which actually added some pace and was quite fun. Great selling from Cole to some of the Superman punches. I love the pin cut, the cup for protecting himself. Great little twist. Never seen that done before. Then there was a Panama Sunrise and my smile was gone. I went backstage. I love a backstage rumble. I think it should be done more often. It's what you always did in the computer games as a kid. And Adam Cole climbed the stanchion thing to do a Panama Sunrise. I'm not sure how that would have added any damage to his attack, seeing as you jump, stop, and then flip through the air. Adding any form of height does nothing to this move. But I like the fact Orange Cassidy was gone and they comedy spotted him up at the top. There was the weakest struggle hold ever before the bump when they went there. They were like, boring start. Great end sequence up to that particularly weak struggle. Despite my complaints, it was a good match and I'll give it a C.
Oh, I thought you were going to go higher then. I thought you were going to go higher.
No, I was bored for a lot of this.
Oh, really? See, there was for me, the pacing felt weird. I know I hadn't picked it up, but you were 100% right. When the run-in started happening, that is when the pace did start coming up. I really enjoyed this. I liked silly things just like where Orange Cassidy punches the ring bell, and then that's obviously then part of the show. Then, like you said, actually probably breaks his fucking hand because that didn't look great. I like any match that manages to get some real fish hooks in it as well. You know, because we've all been in fights in school. Fish hooks fucking hurt. That's a legit move as far as I'm concerned. Really liked the fucking Michinoku driver through the chairs. Looked quite cool as well. Wicked.
My favourite moves.
I loved the pointless but still made me smile, the chain backstabber thing that he did. I thought that looked quite cool, even though the chain really added absolutely fuck all to the move. It looked cool. I disagree with your weakest hug ever. That he's part of the best friends, so they are huggers. That is what they do. So therefore, whilst that hug looks weak to you, it is stronger than any fucking bear hug. He only needs his fingertips to really give you a full-blown hug, mate. I gave this I originally gave this a B, and then the pacing kicked back into my head because I was only giving it a B really for the ending. Giving it a low B, mainly because of the pacing in the middle.
So, my name's Morg, and welcome to my Danhausen podcast.
Casthausen, I believe.
Danhausen. So apparently, I think putting him with the best friends will be a really good thing. We had a quick discussion about this. The match itself, I gave a low B to. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. There was enough in it. I had other people on the call, so I had people I was bouncing off, so I probably didn't notice the pacing as much because when you're slightly more distracted, you do miss the pacing issues because you cut out from moments. But very quickly, I put him with the best friends, Danhausen, because... So apparently half of the internet, half the people have gone, oh my God, it's Danhausen, and half the people have gone, who's this guy? But apparently the guys that have gone, who's this guy, are the same guys who go, oh, AEW are only signing NXT guys. So the other guys are all going, go and do some fucking research. So yeah,
fucking everywhere.
Even my dumbass did.
Yeah, I went and started watching the videos. They were fucking hilarious. But yeah, I'm afraid it's a B Strange. It's a low B.
That's twice on this show.
I know.
Jesus fucking
You might get your own back in Rampage. Right. So that's the end of Dynamite, Mr. Strange. What are the scores?
Okay, we've got our letter maths here. We had a pretty good week. Wrestling was all solid and good. Quite a bit of story work. The promos remarkably good throughout. So it's a B. It's an overall B. Despite my complaints.
I love your little notes.
Yeah.
So, moving on from Dynamite, it's that time. It's time for...
Oh, shit. A witty, fast name for Rampage that I prepared in advance that we've always called it.
I
Now
find my
asleep.
Rampage notes.
I found it hard to form opinions on this one, but let's fucking go. Starks, Jericho, Excalibur, and Taz on commentary. We open up with Mox versus Bowens. Mox wins with the paradigm shift. Get a mid-tier rap from Max on the way in. Probably didn't want him to mention the alcoholism. Probably would have been pumped a bit too far. But there was a book-breaking reference for anybody who gets that. Look it up or don't. Hot start with Mox splatting Max. Obviously, Max has to eat shit. Then he kicked the shit out of Bowens for a bit. He did a weird lick hand slap on his back. That was a bit strange. Didn't get that. Then he beat shit out of Owens in the ring. Then he beat shit out of Owens out of the ring. Then he beat shit out of Owens in the crowd for a bit. But it didn't feel like a massive shit kicking. I didn't feel like he was just being annihilated. Owens finally gets a comeback. There's some shenanigans to keep the heels on edge. What Mo won't know, I have a weakness for the move, the back rake. It makes me laugh. I used to do it in the kitchen, and he did a really big back rake, and I popped. Match was solid. I thought it really picked up towards the end. I thought Mox was going to squash him at the start, and I was pleased he didn't. I think everybody got over. We got to see a claim to fame, that twisting rope DDT, which is sick. I gave it a high C, but I'm almost willing to go for a B for Mox's match first back, showing what he can do, showing he's still in shape, not squashing. I was going to say high C.
If it was Mox's first match back, then yeah, it would have got higher because he was against last week.
Was he?
Yeah.
Good at wrestling.
Oh my God!
He just ran around the ring.
Notes?
He just ran around the ring and shouted about. Was that the week before?
No.
Welcome to our AEW wrestling podcast.
Last week was Mox's return, and he just spoke. This was his in-ring return.
He did a fucking other one.
He's been on Dark or some shit.
I'm fucking googling this. I'm stopping what I'm saying to fucking look this up.
He's correct. It was on Rampage versus Ethan Page.
Ethan Page.
Yeah. All right, okay. I'll go back down to a high C. There we go.
I also gave it a high C. You were correct.
That's high C. That's high C's all around. C/B. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. The beginning of it felt like, well, what I've exactly written here. is how I wanted Mox to start last week and his match. He really sort of started hammering stuff in. There's obviously the nice little attacking other dude who's brain words and stuff, tiredness.
Anthony
Thank
Bowens.
You. No. His tag team partner.
Oh, Max Caster.
Thank you. Yeah. That was really, really nice. He seemed aggressive. I kind of wasn't overly bothered about the back rakes, but that doesn't pop me, man. I just find it weird. Legit. All I kept thinking about, which says so much about me, is fuck, dude, don't lick your hand. Fucking COVID. These guys bleed on each other all the pissing time. Why am I so worked up about a little bit of spit? I have no fucking idea. That swinging DDT thing just looks really good. It's really, really well pulled off. And Mox did eat it very well as well, in my opinion. And fuck, can that boy jump for a drop kick as well when Mox was on the top rope. Looked great. I really enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying these boys. I kind of like how they're willing to get destroyed as well, and it doesn't make them look weak at any point.
But too cool.
Yeah.
Most over people of that time period. A high C's round, unless you've got anything to add.
No.
Oh, then Andrade tried to buy Darby. Andrade doesn't understand friendship. I think before this, because we got a very happy, adorable Darby as he went in. He had his little grin on. And Andrade had a little smile as well. I reckon they'd corpsed or popped each other beforehand, and that's why it was so, like, chipper. I quite like the fact he had the bat ready behind him, because you got to be prepared. Apparently there are no friends in Mexico, only people you buy. I actually enjoyed this. It's one of Andrade's best ones he's had so far, because he's been conciser. When they let him speak a lot more, his weak English shows. And this, he was like, I want to buy you. And Darby's like, you can't buy people. I didn't rank it, but I thought it was funny. What did you boys think?
I enjoyed it, yeah. And I know it's kind of a dick move, but I popped myself when Andrade kept calling him Stink, not Sting. And I'm pretty sure it was that is just how he speaks. He's not actually calling him Stink. But I popped like fuck, and I was like, I'm such a horrible person.
And that was on the internet as a meme. Hey, Stink, how much to buy your son?
It was enjoyable. Like, it, considering what it was actually far more enjoyable than what it could have been. And I think you're right. Them having a little chuckle or whatever, something going on between them, made that better.
Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I actually gave it a B. I actually ranked it a B. I really enjoyed this.
I'm willing to give it a B.
Because we saw some personality from Darby,
weirdly.
And it was Andrade on form.
Yeah. Fuck it up, Mike. I said high C, but fuck it, B. Yeah.
Hey, look at this positivity. This is what, in honesty, overall, this is one of the better rampages we've had in recent times. On2 and Shotty Lee versus FTR. FTR win with the spiked pile driver. Great giga-fast start from Hare and Lee fighting against each other. I honestly think these guys are training each other. I think FTR are training them because I know they're really close with Arn. Because there was quite a lot of chemistry and quite a lot of risky stuff in this for young wrestlers. And they still put them over. Arn2 and Bald together were a little clumsier, but Arn2 is younger. Lee threw himself like 20 feet over the ropes and was barely caught by Bald FTR at one point, and I was like, is he okay? The match just didn't pause. It was actually kind of nice and even, with FTR having the edge, obviously, but there's lots of wrestling. Arn pushed over Tully in a particularly soft shove. And they added a little bit of a jump to their spike pile driver, which makes it look a little bit better than every other tombstone that looks awful. I actually really like this. They got the new boys over. They got themselves over. It didn't stop moving. We had a little bit of story. It can go somewhere. I gave it a B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this. It was a nice.
I did have
nice
3 hours
match.
sleep.
Yeah. Maybe you started seeing things. Like, no. I mean, I gave it a high C. I enjoyed this match. It had a few nice little bits of storytelling in it. There was a little bit where, oh god, who was it?
onto Scotty Lee.
Cash. It was Cash. It's Cash.
Which one's Cash?
The bald one.
Okay, cool.
Cash Wheeler. Like, bald TR. He had done something, it doesn't matter, he wasn't actually part of the ring, but just a tiny, tiny little bit in the bottom of the corner, you see him walk past Arn like that. Fuck you as he walks past. I was like, yep, I love this already. I put arthritic punch by Arn. What the fuck was that? That was so disappointing. Man, why didn't you just use his Glock? You know what I mean? Like, it would have been better.
The issue is that if Arn had used his full strength with AEW canon of a legend, Tully would have exploded into dust.
He has defeated Sean Spears in a single spine buster.
You can't have legends versus legends because they hit so hard. If they both hit each other at the same time, but they're both so weak to any moves, if they hit each other at the same time, they explode into dust. But if they hit anyone, that person is destroyed.
That makes it. So is it kind of like an atomic bomb? You know, the neutrons going off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take it back.
Legends can be dropped if you get the drop on them, and they're weak. But if they hit you, yeah.
Legit.
Morg, what did you give it?
I gave it a high C as well. I'm afraid, Strange. I enjoyed this. I thought it was good. It was a great match. It was a great showing for the young guys. I hope we see some more of them. I'd be quite happy with this being a best of 3, and I'd like to see the young guys get a surprise roll-up win over FTR, as much as I hate the surprise roll-up. But I could happily watch these guys wrestle again, and that's kind of the important thing. I wasn't bored, and yeah, it was good.
I was impressed. One last thing. I was really impressed by Lee.
Oh, he's
really agile.
Really, really good. That turn-in frog splash thing he did as well. I'm pretty sure that wasn't meant to be a turn-in frog splash, but it was the only way to recover that move.
Style it out, man. Style it out.
He did well. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed watching him.
Right, then we had a Rosa versus Martinez promo. Solid on both parts, but Rosa's much stronger on the mic and established at the moment. Martinez was good enough, but it was just basic threat thing. I don't know if anyone's got anything to add on that.
I can't wait for the match, is all I'm adding to that.
Julia Pliskin versus Jade Cargill. Jade wins with the Jaded. Not a lot of chemistry. Anyway, Jade won. D.
Oh.
Okay. I think I gave a higher mark on a Jade match than you did. Fuck me. I'm very
There's something to enjoy in this match that I missed. There's a good big boot.
I really enjoy her entrance now. That brought it back to me. I like her music and I like the lightning bolts in the ring.
He looks great. Wonderful.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time chuckling because Taz didn't like the picture of himself in the bottom corner for their mobile game because he says he looks 90.
About that on Twitter.
Oh, did he? Ah, yes. I really need to get on Twitter.
Taz on Twitter is great.
Yeah. Okay, I would definitely get on it. They did do the world's slowest Hurricane Runner, though. That was pretty piss poor. I put a low C, but I think it was added elements that brought it from a D, not the match itself, if that makes sense. I just don't give a fuck about that.
Power of positivity. So, there's an ending for this as well, something I've come up with. Bit of fantasy booking for you, Strange. I think you'll like it.
Okay.
So yeah, Jade, I gave this a C. I thought it was just a match. It was good. Julia didn't seem squashed. The Raptor didn't hate it, and she hates Jade almost as much as you hate Adam Cole. Only almost, because nobody hates anything as much as you hate Adam Cole. My cat does not hate me as much as you hate Adam Cole.
He's a lovely person out of kayfabe. I like watching him talk to people. He seems very nice.
But yeah, I gave it a C. I thought it was an all right match. Jade didn't do anything brilliant, but she didn't botch anything horribly.
Many backbreakers.
So she's just there to be a monster heel to get these wins up for a valiant person. I'm not going to say babyface because Strange will cry when I finish this storyline. But a valiant person to come along and dethrone her. And who better to beat the undefeated Jade Cargill than the girl from Japan who never wins a match? I want Maki Ito to return, challenge Jade, and win the TBS Championship. That is my pitch.
That ruins her entire gimmick. This gimmick has carried her for 5 years. 5 years of losing matches. You really should watch a recent match where she got paused mid-headbutt and was hanging there.
I have seen
until
the
they
GIF.
rolled.
I have seen it.
Wonderful.
Somebody shared it in the Wrestleopinionated Discord.
I will share some Maki Ito stuff with you after this, or just put her into YouTube.
I think
Right.
it's great. But yeah, that's my my pitch.
I keep going.
Yes. Go.
Right. Then it is on to the final. Yeah, it's on to the Mark interview, isn't it? Yeah. Mark interviewed. Mark Henry interviews the Dino people and Private Party. Anyway, their dads talked a bit. Jungle Boy and Isaiah got a little bit, and it was all right. And Dean said, "Raw."
No, Dean said oranges.
Then he rawed afterwards.
Raptor has a theory that he's just going to say a different fruit every week. So if he says grapes next week, then we know that Raptor's onto something.
Right, okay. Match. The Goodies win with the Jurassic Express. After Jungle Boy kicking the shit out of Private Party's finisher and some other moves. Just straight off, one of the best tag team moves in wrestling. Gone. Then Dean beats everyone for a bit, but is taken out by shenanigans, so he can be beaten through the break. Break ends for the hot tag with Jungle Boy, so he can be the Michaels to Dino Essie. Actually becomes an alright, no-rules clusterfuck for the last few minutes of the match. Jungle Boy countered Gin and Juice with a destroyer that actually looks pretty good, because it looks good if you use momentum, and don't just fucking spin through the air like you've trying to do the fucking Tomb Raider 2 glitch to make her explode. And then they won. It was solid. I gave it a C. It was solid, entertaining wrestling. And then a Gun Club came out and beat the Goodies up for a bit. Righteously so, as we know from last week.
Yeah, fucking damn it, that heel Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed this match.
Good.
I really enjoyed Private Party. This time
they
around.
needed some tightening. When they first arrived, we all went, "Oh fuck, they're immense." But then we realised they just had the same match every week, and we were like, "They're not immense. They're just really good at this." But since they've been away, obviously doing a bit more, they've really mixed up their show, which is really good because they're great.
Legit. I find it really off-putting when they bring their gimp torturer to the ring with them. Blade.
He's in a great tag team. He's in a great tag team. You just have to wait.
Yeah, because the other guy's injured, isn't it? Is it
he might be injured, but I know his heavy metal band's just broke up, so he might be dealing with things emotionally. Every Time I Die, really popular heavy metal band. Death metal, some kind of metal that I don't listen to. Sorry, carry on.
Sure. Yeah, nice, fast-paced. I like the attack at the beginning. It didn't drag. I know it's Rampage, so they can't really drag that much out anyway, because they don't have the fucking time to. I really liked. Was it Silly String? The weird out
with the top back.
Yeah, it's fucking cool, man. It's weird, very strange, but looks cool as fuck. I didn't dislike Luchasaurus as much as I have done in the last few of his matches. I mean, they worked on him quite well. I did enjoy the stupid spot of him dragging his legs along the floor with them attached, even though it didn't quite work. It sort of worked, but I found it entertaining. It wasn't a massive spot fest like the last couple have been, I thought. I gave it a C. I don't have a huge amount. I'm looking forward to the family ass match, in all honesty. I've not watched them yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
So I gave it a low B. I enjoyed this. I thought it was great fun. It was nice to see. But kicking out the Gin and Juice at the beginning, I thought exactly the same thing, but then I put a little bit of wrestling logic. It was right at the beginning of the match, and he was still fresh. And they didn't, I can allow a bit of wrestling logic like that at the beginning of a match.
You don't need to make Jungle Boy more over. He then kicked out more moves after.
Oh, yes, but Raven, there was a bit later where there was a thing he kicked out of that I was a bit like, after all that. But Raven once said, the difference is one day you didn't hit your finisher the same way, and that's why they can kick out of it one day and they can't kick out of it another. But anyway, so I didn't hate that, but I did query it at the time and managed to make up some headcanon. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. It was a nice change for Luchasaurus to take the beat down and do the babyface sell, and Jungle Boy to get the hot tag. something that the Raptor happened to comment on at the time as well. So yeah, I gave it a B. I really enjoyed it. Low B, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good fun. And so it was a nice round off to a weekend of wrestling for me.
Yeah, Billy Gunn looks fucking awesome still.
Mate, they sell him like a tank in matches. Some of his matches are great.
He's the reason that Legends. Also, watch Danhausen and the Ass Boys if you haven't seen it on YouTube.
Forgot him.
That one's so good.
Oh really?
Danhausen and the Ass Boys. The Ass Boys are fucking hilarious.
I saw like 10 seconds.
Billy is just corpsing throughout the entire thing. As I say, welcome to my Danhausen podcast.
We've rounded off the show. That's all of Rampage. Here's our notes. There we are. As we can see, we've got a bank of C's, a B. Some of the C's are good, some of them bad. So we're going to give it a high C with a happy derby. Overall, we're going to round that out with our Dynamite review, which was a B. So we've got a high thing. I'm willing to round the entire thing up to a B. The matches were largely good. We got some good story work, and we got to see happy derby. Look, it's a B in AEW wrestling. Put that on the fridge for them.
Now is the time where I quickly look and see if there's anybody in Twitter. No, there isn't. Twitch, sorry, I should say. There isn't. So this would be the time we'd have questions. We haven't had any questions in. Please send some questions. Send us some things to be angry about. Send us some things to book. More on that in a moment. Wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. WrestleOP on Facebook and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Right. Time to go back to one of those type of segments we and Strange used to do. We're going to do some fantasy booking, gents. So this
ban you from turning the lights out.
So this week, there will be no turning the lights out. The Raptor said that. I was watching the build-up to the Royal Rumble, and there was all the speculation about the Forbidden Door being opened. And I thought to myself, well, what if WWE, and it's never going to happen, but what if they did open their Forbidden Door to AEW, and they did an invasion angle, and they did it properly, and it gets to the end and it's a draw, and the last match is the match that decides which one of them going to wins, when wham, in comes Okada and Kota Ibushi, and we then have New Japan invade the last bit, so you haven't got a winner between WZ and AEW, and you set up for a new pay-per-view, and how much WZ love calling their pay-per-view after match types. They have a pay-per-view called Triple Threat, and in Triple Threat it will be, every match will be a triple threat match, and it will be a member of the WWE roster, a member of the AEW roster, because I nearly did it with Impact, and a member of the NJPW roster, or Stardom for the women's, as Strange pointed out.
There are no women.
Because there are no women in NJPW, so it's the Japanese invasion. Vince isn't allowed to book it because it's the Japanese invasion, so Tony gets to book it on safety grounds. So this is where I have to grab my phone because that's where I've got the original note. So this is what we have. We have to book the matches. They must be logical. They must be able to happen. So we cannot have dead wrestlers, people that are no longer with the company. They must be people who are currently on the roster. We may choose who they are, but we must have a relevant main title champion, top carder, for each of the brands. So we need to decide who the heavyweights, the top card, the main event match. The mid-card title, equivalent of who holds that. The tag team, the women's title. We may have one legend match and one random grudge match.
Fucking ready.
So I think we start off with the grudge match because it's the one at the bottom of my list, and we work our way up to the main event.
Is everybody ready, or should I just win this first?
Well, yeah. So who do you think should be the who's your grudge match between?
My grudge match is, you can either pick your WWE guys. You can let me know which one would be the better choice here. Finn Balor or AJ Styles. This is Kenny Omega versus Jay White for who is the true leader of Bullet Club.
Oh.
So each of them has ran Bullet Club. Finn Balor is technically the original starter of Bullet Club leader, but AJ is thought of as, the iconic leader period. Kenny obviously overthrows them and starts his era, and when he left and abandoned everything, you got the rise of Switchblade Jay White. There's a tying together of the heel generations, whilst I don't know if AJ or Baylor are currently heel, but it's doable. It is a heel-off grudge match over who is the true Too Sweet Bullet Club best merch-selling faction.
If it was my opinion, I would definitely go AJ for that. Mainly because I want to use Finn later on.
All right, okay, okay.
Weird. I want to use I want to use AJ later on.
Oh,
and I would have Finn because Finn is the original leader, and he's the original leader of the Bullet Club, that's why. To be fair, Stray, you said you were going to win this. Yeah, that was the only one I had. I didn't know which Bullet Club member from New Japan to put in.
Jay White, current leader.
Jay White,
the
so the current leader. So
Jay White
Kenny,
is phenomenal.
Kenny versus Jay White versus either Finn Balor or AJ Styles. Right.
Well, I'll leave it open so you two can argue over the later one. So I know I've won the grudge match.
I looked at it purely.
Booking.
I look at it purely in the story sense that no matter who wins this triple threat match, original Finn Balor can always say, "Yeah, you were all just the secondaries."
Yeah.
So there's a
got a later view.
Future booking. Yeah, all right, I'll go with that. Yeah. So we'll have AJ Styles.
Oh, I did have two other options, just so you know, in case you weren't sold with that. We've got Chucky T versus El Generico. Pretty much have anyone from NJPW, and Chucky T versus Tyler Black. You'll know him as Seth something or other.
Mr. Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Chuck had an entire chant about him, which was, go on, Chuck, you're far more sexier than Tyler Black, or something like that.
Right. So now we have what I have called the Legends match. And this one I think is a little bit more difficult. Now I'm going to state we can't have the Dream match because Taker is officially retired. So we can't have Taker Sting with somebody tacked on.
Oh, Taker! I couldn't think of any legends in WWE who are still active.
I said Kane because Kane hasn't officially retired as far as I'm aware, has he? He said he's not likely to do anything because of his current role, but I reckon he's still available for viewings. See, I would have loved to see him versus Sting, purely because it's is that the Brothers of Destruction? Oh, no, that's other Undertaker. That's the way I look at it. I would have loved to see them two fight. I don't know anyone in New Japan, so I can't.
I've got two down. I've got Minoru Suzuki versus Sting, which could fit into that Kane one there. He is a little bit young compared to other legends, but he's on that correct age thing for NJPW. But I've also got down Satoshi of Bread Club. He had a match against Mox. Loves bread, lovely man, big and buff. Billy Gunn, because Morg pointed out to me about 5 minutes ago that he's a legend. And once again, I'm struggling on the WWE side. You boys will have to help me. Currently, I can lean towards Mo by bringing in my Suzuki.
So, who's New Japan's darkish, spooky character? Have they got a kind of an Undertaker?
Not an old one.
Alistair Black.
Not a legend.
So I think you go with Suzuki.
He's a murderer.
Oh
no, Liger's retired. You can't even have Shin Liger. Sorry, boys.
Yeah, this is a hard one actually. I mean, Mick Foley's retired, so you can't have Mick Foley Suzuki versus, I don't know who would be the hardcore legend from AEW's.
Anybody fight Satoshi and Gunn in a comedy match?
This is the hardest.
Shouldn't have come up with this one more.
This one's really hard to come up with the three legends. I think we just go Triple H versus Sting versus Suzuki just because it's three top legends. There's no storyline behind it.
Tripp's a legend now. I suppose he is old.
Yeah, he is now.
He's definitely a fucking legend, yeah.
I've got Suzuki in.
Plus, I want Sting to make Triple H eat shit after the WrestleMania. Where it was,
yes. Right. Let's go on to an easier one then, shall we? Okay, we're starting with our next one, which is our women's title match.
You guys got any suggestions before I win again?
I've got to try and win.
Jamie Hayter, representing Oya Dotai, steps forward. Trained in Stardom, steps forward from AEW. Io, who founded Queen's Quest, the head heel faction of Stardom, who trained most of the people in Stardom, steps forward for WWE. Her last defeat was against Mayu, one of the most over and current champions in Stardom, who represents the faction Stars Army, who are the faces for it.
Who was your AEW one?
Hater for Oya Dotai.
Oh, so Haters, you're... Right, so the only problem is I don't see Io Shirai as the champion in Dubsy. And this is the money match. I'm sorry, you've got Charlotte, Becky. It's going to be Charlotte or Becky is your women's champion. Best female wrestlers out there. Or Bayley or Sasha. It's 4 horse.
Good luck leading that match if you can't speak Japanese.
That's why you don't win. Because you haven't taken into account the Dub Z issue. It's Becky versus Britt because she's the best. And I don't know who you bring in from Stardom for that, who can talk. And I'd almost be tempted to go with Rio.
Julia. If you're doing those two, you bring Julia in.
Yeah.
She'll mog both of them.
Would you not? I would be intrigued to see Rhea Ripley involved. I know she's not one of the big.
If we're going for my personal taste over there, I'm going to take the punk girl, obviously.
Yeah. I think because she's a fucking unit as well, and I think going into with all of the better constructed side of things with Stardom and that, I think she could actually do quite fucking good in that match and be a bit of a monster in it as well. Look quite good.
I could see Rhea as a champion, and I could see.
Same one's got the best story.
It's got the Japanese story. It's not telling the story we're trying to tell.
We're not just telling the story of WWE. We're telling how these people all came together.
This is bullshit. Take that back, man. I've been paid off with Saudi money to make sure they win everything.
You'll never get real angry. You should have seen my face when Morg said the Shield was a better faction than Los Ignorables. I lost my shit.
We should have had a faction war, shouldn't we? I don't see who I'd want to face.
I'm not having Rhea. Charlotte Flair, so she's out.
Yeah. Well, I don't want Charlotte either. See, Rhea I like, and I thought, if I was going to go Rhea, I'd go Rhea Statlander. And has Stardom got a powerhouse, athletic powerhouse female wrestler who can stand up with those?
Oh, they've got a bunch of decent-sized, lightly powered people.
This was supposed to be the
girls in Stardom start training at 8.
Fair. Right, tag teams.
You know what? Fuck you if we're doing this. Oh no, we can't not bring it up. I'm bringing in Tam and the Cosmic Angels because everybody wants to see a bunch of 6-foot double G-tinted Japanese Joe. That's literally what Tam does. Tam is a busty Japanese girl who has built a faction of busty Japanese girls called Cosmic Angels, or what was it? Something Cosmic H, and the H is literally them abbreviating hentai because people follow them because they've got big boobs, but also they can all wrestle because they're in Stardom.
Oh, they'll definitely be
on the show.
You want to
bring money to this show?
They'll definitely be on the show. Vince would be making sure of that. Right. Tag team. Right, Mo pick WWE. I'll pick AEW. Strange pick New Japan. Who should be the champions for the match?
They've done too much. Ooh.
Who?
Dangerous Tekkers. The best tag team in wrestling. Zack Sabre Jr. and Lord Taishi. They are great in the ring. You've got a big muscular guy who can do all your power bombs, your drops, your big slam stuff. Angry, screeching lefty, vegan noodle Zack Sabre Jr. who wraps people up in himself. And they have this weird bromance in the ring. People love them. They don't speak the same language. One only eats meat. One's a vegan. They drink beer together all the time. Last time I saw them was, I think, at the G1 in a tag match. And one guy's on the turnbuckle. Zack runs up, grabs him, looks over, and he's like, Taishi, come on, to do a big stupid slam. And Taishi's like, oh, get a little hurt. And he's like, Tashi, get your ass over here. It's the Tokyo Dome. He has to run over it. They are comedy, great technicians. The bromance is beloved. You can see, like, Tashi will bounce his pecs and Zack will be like, ooh, as he does it and stuff. And they're heels. They're real shit-eating assholes, but with this comedy, wholesome romance with great wrestling. Watch some Dangerous Techers. They're great.
I will have to get involved in that. They sound fucking hilarious.
Who are you picking for me?
I'm going to have to go fucking New Day, and this is Xavier and Kofi New Day as well, not Big E. Fucking entertaining. If you wanted them heel, like fucking years ago they were banging, but why would you fucking bother? Why would you bother? You know, face-ish New Day are the fucking best, where they can put the little cheaty bits in, but not overly cheaty. The crowd are fucking involved in everything they do. They can bounce like motherfuckers and can take some proper hits and come back with that babyface energy at the same time. They're fucking great. They're fucking entertaining. They do most things in the ring. Not everything, but most things in the ring.
This is the easiest one for me. And especially after the two teams you guys have picked. We need a team that's great in the ring, a team that can do comedy, a team that can be basically shitty tweeners, because all three teams are just going to be shitty tweeners in this match, because it's going to be the high spot fest. And let's say it all together, it's really easy to pick from AEW. It's going to be the Young Bucks. And I think Young Bucks versus New Day versus, what are they called again?
Dangerous Techers.
Dangerous Techers.
They've got big techers.
Yeah, they are. That sounds like an absolute cracking match. Right. Mid-card title. So this is either the Intercontinental, the TNT, or the New Japan one.
Not the IWGP.
Yeah. But it's the mid-card group, the secondary title. So it's got to be a relevant champion.
I get a consensus in here. Are we doing a Beefy Boys slapping meat mid-card champion or a Flippy Shitters champion?
I'm going for, I think I've got a workhorse for mine.
All right, okay. Because I've got
someone who can do both for AEWs.
I've got two options for my starting ones. I've got Phoenix versus Will Osprey. Because that is flippy as shit, and Will Osprey's taken the Japanese steroids, so he can all a bit.
I know
more
who
weight.
we've got for Dub Z for that one.
And for my big boy slapping meat, we've got my favourite dragon, Shingo Tagaki, who is phenomenal. And if you haven't seen his match with Jeff Cobb, you should watch it. And Miro, because I love Miro, and he's massive. And that'll be two boys slapping some serious beef in that ring. Those are my two openers. I don't have a WWE guy, obviously, because
You do. You have one for your flippy shitters.
Seen Ricochet versus Osprey, and they overdid it.
But
they went
Ricochet
too flippy.
versus Osprey, but he's your option.
Yeah.
He's your guy for that.
And for the other one, good old Claudio Cesaro.
Yes.
Fucking that boy's.
Oh, I saw a match with him.
Mother.
He spins people round. He's great.
Claudio
I love that
Castagnari.
move. I'm willing to go for beef if we're having Spinny Man.
Yeah, considering he can do it to the great Carly.
Yeah.
Like,
The beef or we're going with beef.
beef off. Beef off.
It's a beef. It's Shingo, Miro, and Cesaro. That's a lot of oats.
We have just had flippy shit tag team match. So then the main event.
I start.
Who's your Dub Z champion?
I know this will probably piss people off. Fucking Brock Lesnar. Come on. You want to fucking sell tickets? Have real fighty man in that fucking ring for a main event against other fucking companies.
Well, I've got two people who can fight real fighty man.
Yeah.
I've got
no one.
I've got two options, because when I first wrote this list out, I wrote champion at the top like it's a different match and not the main title, which would decide that champion. So I've got two. We've either got a great story where we bring forth the fact that Tanahashi once told the Elite to give them Hangman and he would get the poison out of them and make them better again. So we could have Hangman and Tanahashi Giga facing off as, Tanahashi finally sees the good in Hangman and he becomes, what do he become? I don't know, somebody from WWE, Drew McIntyre or someone. I don't know. Or, if we're going for fucking kicking the shit out of people, Mo, Bryan Danielson and Kota Ibushi. We let them kick the fucking shit out of each other.
I wouldn't go Kota. I'd go Brock. I would go Okada. Just because I think Okada's got... Even though Kota is more my favourite, I think Okada's got the kayfabe out of NJPW recognition. As much as I would prefer to see Ibushi, I just think Okada's the bigger name for Brock, and Danielson, as I would have put Danielson in for the AEW pick. I could be wrong.
I'm going to disagree with you because Ibushi and NJ... If you've got NJPW followers, they like both of them kind of evenly, and a lot of people are a little bit sick of Okada. Over here, most people know Ibushi through his storyline with Kenny, and they know Okada from his matches with Kenny. Yeah. So I think a lot more people will be drawn in from the side of the story of Ibushi, and plus people have seen him like fire fireworks into his chest on a car in the middle of a London street. Look up Kota Ibushi gifs, Mo. This man, he's in a cobbled street. I think he's fighting Darby. He gets some fireworks. He fires them into his chest. Then he moonsaults off onto Darby. I have seen this man have air pellet rifles fired at him in matches and stuff. DDT is crazy. So, we're going for the meat fair. We're going for kicking the shit out of each other. Have I won you over to Ibushi, people?
Yeah. We can go with Ibushi.
We're sticking with Bork.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Bork.
Just as an add-on, I would also love to see Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, I really wanted to get Shinsuke into here somewhere, but I was trying not to over-Japan it. I wasn't going to be like, aha, Shinsuke versus Naito.
I want to see that stuff.
Well,
because I think it would work out really fucking well.
When he goes back to NJPW in a year or two, you'll see him.
They're paying him too much money to not do much. Right. That's it. That's the show.
Hooray!
Thanks.
Who's our Giga champion in this thing before we leave? Who's winning
it
this
ends
match?
up being a draw. I think it ends up being a draw.
I was going to give it to B, Dan.
Yeah, but I know it ends up being a draw overall. Right. I'd like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. Thank you for anyone who joined us on Twitch. If you want to find us, we are Wrestleopinionated on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and Twitch. Over to Mo.
Thanks very much for having me. My Mo moment really this week is Matt actually not getting super angry about Adam Cole. It's very strange. Have a good one. Love ya.
Become apathy. Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, click the little bell buttons. I don't know what you do on Twitch, but do that. Write a nice comment. That'd be nice. Write a mean comment. I'll write a mean comment back to you. It's all engagement. It pushes up the numbers. We don't care. But thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to us talk about this. One day we'll get Morg out of the Shadow Realm. And we look forward to having you watch and listen along with us in future. Back to you, Morg.